Hey everyone, Thornton Smash here, resident Apex Predator, and with the Switch release of Apex Legends coming right around the corner, I thought this would be a perfect time to go ahead and show you a character guide on the best legends to use and what their abilities are as well. I hope you find this an informative guide. Let's jump right into it with the legends that you can go ahead and pick. So when you first boot up Apex Legends, there's going to be a list of characters that you can select right in the beginning. It's going to be Bloodhound, Gibraltar, Lifeline, Pathfinder, Wraith, Bangalore. Those will be the ones that you can start with right away. The rest will have to be unlocked by using the red Apex tokens. You can get those when you hit around level 22, and those characters are going to be Caustic, Mirage, Octane, Watson, Crypto, Revenant, LOBA, Rampart, and Horizon. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how those characters actually play and what they can be used for. First up, we have Bloodhound, which is an amazingly useful character. He's the second most used character I use, and he's great for tracking and also playing a super aggressive playstyle. I'm going to show you how to use him right now. Okay, so with Bloodhound's tactical, passive, and ultimate abilities, he becomes a pretty great character to start off with. So first off, his passive ability lets him see footprints on the ground. If you are chasing an enemy, you will be able to track him, and it will tell you how long his footprints have been there. There will also be beacons on the map, which you can scan and find the next ring location. That's a new ability they've added to him. His tactical is where it really shines. Right here you can go ahead and see he can scan a wide area and it will highlight exactly where your enemies are. Now when you're ready to engage in the fight, you can even do his ultimate. You basically do that, boom, everything is as if it's in a red dot sight, and you can go ahead and keep the beast of the hunt for about 33 seconds, but for every knock you get, it extends the life of the beast of the hunt, which makes you a very, very formidable opponent to deal with. You also get a scan more often while you're in the beast of the hunt. We also have our resident thick boy in Gibby. Now Gibby is one of the best S tier characters in the game, and he's really helpful for new players. He has a ton of abilities and they're great to go over to help you get more wins. Now with Gibby's abilities, you literally become a walking tank. His passive is pretty great. If you aim down sights, it gives you a gun shield. This will protect you from incoming damage up to about 50 HP, which can lead you to living much longer and continuing the fight. You can also toggle the arm shield so that you don't need it all the time out. So it's great to switch back and forth depending if you want to be seen or not. Now his tactical is also great. You basically throw it down, you have a giant dome, and you're protected from incoming fire. You can also pick up your teammates quicker while in the dome. But what really makes Gibby great is his ultimate. His airstrike is quick launching and it deals an insane amount of damage and has a pretty good sized radius. You can literally rain down hell from the sky above and take out entire squads with this ability. It is truly fantastic. Lifeline, like Gibby, is also in my S tier list of characters. She's incredibly useful and she can absolutely change the tide of a battle, and there's a couple reasons you're going to want to be using her in a fight. Lifeline is the ultimate healer in this game. Her passive allows that if your teammate is knocked, you can run up to them and heal them, but while they're being healed and revived, it will also give them a gun shield, and you don't have to stay attached to it. You can run around and continue the fight while your teammates are getting picked up. But if you're not in a situation where any of you are knocked and you just need some health, she has this great tactical where she can go ahead and drop this drone and it will heal your health. You just stand close, it'll attach, and it will begin to heal you. Her ultimate is also pretty good, but it's probably the least useful. You can call in a care package from the sky. It does take a couple of seconds to hit the ground, and you are vulnerable as other teams can see it coming down and may decide to hit you while you're looting. But you do possibly get some good items from it. Sometimes you will see purple shields and purple helmets. Unfortunately, you will not get any exotic weapons from this care package, so do be aware of that. But it is great to get an extra shield in the game. Now we have my main character, which is Pathfinder. Now he has received a lot of buffs which have nerfed him quite a bit, but he's still a super fun character to play, and once I show you his abilities, you're gonna understand why everyone wants to be Robot Spider-Man. Now with my main character Pathfinder, it's a lot of fun to play as him, but it does take some technical skill to get good at him. First up, his passive allows, just like Bloodhound, for you to read a beacon on the map and know where the next ring location is. It can be super helpful, and it also gives you a full ultimate ability when you scan that ring. His tactical is what is probably the most fun to play as. Basically, by using his tactical, you can create a zip line and you can get to a lot of different locations and kind of bamboozle the enemy and go to different strategies in regards to movement. Now his ultimate allows for the entire team to get a zip line, and you can set this up pretty far. You basically launch it and it allows your team to get to high points that the other team hopefully cannot get to, giving you an advantage with the high ground. Next up, we have the sweatiest, the most legendary legend there is. That's gonna be WRAITH, and if you play her, you're expected to get wins, you're expected to get high kills, but she's been nerfed heavily, so you're gonna want to be aware of that before you pick her. There is a reason WRAITH is one of the sweatiest legends in the game. Basically, she has the smallest hitbox, but she does take an extra 5% damage, so you do want to be aware of that. Her passive allows her to know when she's being aimed at, which can alert the entire team that you might get third-partied or that you're about to get sniped, which is great. Her tactical is also very helpful in the sense that you can go into the void where you are unhittable. There is a wind-up time before you can use it, but it also allows you to reposition, and you can see enemies in this mode. You have to wait a second before you can fire again, so do be aware of that. And her ultimate is also great. It allows you to set a portal, and you can set this portal to go to your teammates' traps. You can use it to get around an enemy team that you're trying to get around. It has a ton of advantages. It will die within about 2 ring ticks, so it won't last forever if you're trying to get out of the ring, but it can be helpful to maneuver your team out of that kind of situation. And the last of the unlocked characters that come with the game is probably the most balanced character of them all, and that's Bangalore, and she can be really useful and not enough people play her. And really, I'm gonna go over why she's such a balanced and great legend for you to play if she fits your playstyle. So with Bangalore being one of the most balanced legends, what exactly makes her balanced? Well, her first ability is that she's a great run and gunner. Basically, if she's being shot at, she gets a 30% speed boost, which helps you escape the enemy. And if you're trying to escape the enemy, you can also do her great tactical, which pops smoke right behind her so that it's very dense and you can get away. It also works great if you're being shot at an enemy team far away. You basically line it up, you launch it, and boom, now they can't see what's going on. It's very useful and very helpful. Her ultimate is also pretty good. It's a less powerful version of Gibby's, but it's got more area of effect. It'll hit a wider area and it will drop these bombs. Now with the bombs, it does take a couple seconds for them to activate, but it's a great buffer to get enemies away from you or to create a little bit of distance. Once they go off in a straight line, and it can pretty much wound the enemy team and allow you to reposition and get ready to win the fight. Now we have Wattson, the static defender. She's also, just like Caustic, a very good defensive player, and she's a favorite of pro players. So if you want to get really good with her, you can take her to an absolute high level. We're going to go ahead and show a little bit of how you actually want to play her. Now, Wattson's abilities are pretty great, and they're great for pro play. Her first ability is a passive, which basically allows an ultimate accelerant to be used, and it will make the ultimate jump from whatever percent it's at to fully done. So I always recommend keeping an ultimate accelerant on your Wattson ready to use. Her tactical allows her to place fences, which will basically be able to block off enemies from running in. They can go through it, but it will slow them down and hurt them in the process. And you can pretty much do crisscrossing patterns like this, attaching to former nodes. You can also run through them, and your teammates and you will not be hurt by them. But her ultimate is really where it shines. You can basically drop the ultimate like this, and everything around it will be healed with your shields. That means your teammates can go ahead and not worry so much about shield cells, and the other enemy team has to worry about the fact that they can no longer throw grenades in here, because grenades will not be impacted. Your team also cannot throw grenades at it, but you can definitely still throw them outside of the ring. Now we also have Revenant, who is the king of third parties. He can help his team a ton with pushes, and his skill set is super fun to use. I'm really looking forward to showing you what this guy can do. Now with Revenant's abilities, he's actually able to climb much higher than other legends. You can get pretty high up here, which helps with scaling walls, but also when you're crouched as him, you make no noise and you can move faster as Revenant. His tactical is pretty useful as well. You do have to aim at your opponent and make sure you hit them, but it will basically make sure that their abilities are censored. And when you hit them with it, it does a little bit of damage, but it really will take things down, like Gibby's gun shield and other abilities that they have. But his best move, which is his ultimate, allows him to put down a death totem just like this. It'll spawn in. You typically want to hide it somewhere because if other teams shoot it, it will destroy it, leaving you vulnerable. But when you do this and your teammates can use it as well, you enter death protection, which basically allows you to die and you will spawn back at the totem. You have a limited time, as you can see with the death protection right next to the ultimate trigger, so you have that much time to push or die to come back. When you're about to die, just like this, it'll shoot you back right like that, and now I'm back at the totem. I cannot use it again, but you're pretty much good to go from there, and it makes it great for third partying and attacking other teams. Now we have Apex Legends' newest legend, and that's actually going to be Horizon. And she's got a very fun skill set, and it's pretty easy to use and get used to right away. And it's probably the most unique skill set in all of Apex Legends in terms of the unlockable characters. So let's go ahead and see what she can do as well. Horizon is the newest legend in the game, and she's a ton of fun to play with a very unique skill set, which I think you'll enjoy. The first is her passive, which basically, if you're playing Apex Legends, you know that there is no fall damage. You can jump from any height and not get hurt. However, if you jump from a high enough distance, there is a slight stun for a second or two before you can start moving. Rampart does not have that issue, as she can drop from any distance, and right there with the blue flash, she can keep going. Her tactical is pretty nice too, as it allows you to basically get up any height. It's a little bit more durable and more fun than Octane's jump pad. You can go ahead and pretty much get all the way up there, and boom, I'm back. Now, her ultimate is really fun, and as long as you use it with your team, it can be a blast. You can basically choose where you want to launch it. Once you launch it, it will shoot it out, and it's basically a miniaturized black hole. It will suck anyone within this blue radius into it, including grenades. So it's always fun to go ahead and throw those, and then boom, you have a team stuck in there, and you can start blasting them with grenades and destroying them. Next up is going to be Mirage. Now, Mirage is actually a pretty good character. He didn't start off great, but up to Season 7, he's received a lot of buffs. He's also one of the wittiest and funniest characters to play as, and his skill set is pretty good here, so we're going to go ahead and show a little bit of what Mirage can do now. He has a pretty interesting passive. So basically, if you get downed, you will turn invisible and set up a decoy just like this. You have the decoy right here, enemies will shoot at that, and it allows you to go invisible and cloaked, and you can revive or have your teammates pick you up. It can be pretty distracting and pretty useful in a firefight, especially if you get downed quite a bit. Now, his tactical is also pretty nice. It allows you to shoot decoys out. It's pretty much like that. Now, you can control them. They can do everything. They can move left and right. They can go ahead and jump. Well, there he goes. There he's jumping. And his tactical, when you're in a really sticky bind, or if there's a lot of enemies right next to you, you can go ahead and do that. It will cloak you and also shoot out a whole slew of those decoys, allowing you a chance to hit the enemy team and get some downs and knocks. Diving into Octane, Octane is the fastest character in the game. He has a health buff, which is pretty nice, and he's got the best solo win rate. Now, he's not good in trios, and there's a reason for that, and we're going to go ahead and show a little bit of what limits him in trio play, but also what makes him really good in single play. So with Octane's abilities, you basically have a passive that heals you and a tactical that makes you run faster, and they kind of go hand in hand. So with the tactical, you can do that and you'll see the speed boost. You'll also notice that it takes a little bit of your health when you use it. Now, once it's done, you'll see that it passively regenerates your health, which can be quite helpful. Now, in terms of, say, you're fighting an enemy and you want to get in there quick, you can throw down these jump pads as his ultimate and get right over, and it even allows a double jump for a little bit more room if you want to do that. It is a ton of fun and really helpful, and he's a great character for solo players to move around with, but he isn't the greatest as a team player, as he's mainly built to play solo with quick running speed, getting in and out of fights, and really, he's a maneuverability character. Caustic, which you can see right here, and we're going to go ahead and dive into his skill set and what makes Caustic pretty good. He's a defensive played character, so if you're an aggressive type player, he may not be the best for you, but he is pretty good defensively, so let's see what this guy can do. Now, Caustic abilities go as so. Basically, his passive allows him to see through caustic gas. His tactical allows you to throw a gas trap just like this. Basically, you can use it to board up rooms, defend yourself, and you can even use it to heal your teammates. Say you have a teammate who's down, you simply throw the gas tank right around them, you shoot it, and now you've got cover, which you can actually see through, and his ultimate allows you to target a team and throw a gas trap right on them for massive amounts of damage and allow you escape or allow you to push if that is what your desire is to do. We also have Crypto here, who is an expert in surveillance. He is a really fun character to use. He comes with a drone, but there's definitely a skill curve and gap here, so we're going to go over the best ways to use him and other legends that also might pair quite well with him. Now, with Crypto's skill set, he's got a pretty fun one, but it's all within pretty much the same realm of what he can do with his drone. So his tactical and passive are tied once again in. Basically, with the drone, you can go ahead and scan. Now, on these banners, if there's an enemy nearby, it'll actually show how many squads are within the immediate area, which is pretty helpful. And then within 30 meters or so, you can actually scan and see enemies, and it'll highlight it for your entire team. And his ultimate allows a giant big bang just like this to go off, and break everyone's shields within the area that it affects, while also slowing them down. The downside of this ability is that basically while he's in the drain mode, he is a sitting duck. So the best way to pair him is actually with a Wraith. You put a Wraith portal right next to him, he goes ahead and drops the EMP Blast ultimate, and then goes through the portal to join his team to finish the fight against other opponents. Now we have LOBA, who is a thief build. She has some interesting abilities in terms of movement, but also in terms of getting gear. Some people may really love to play her, but a lot of people also really don't like how her skill set is currently. But let's go ahead and see how some of her stuff works. Going into LOBA's abilities, they can be a little lackluster. Her first up is the tactical, which allows you to see purple and gold and red items through bins and walls. Just like this, you can see them, and then when you look over, boom, there are those items. Now her tactical takes a little bit more work. You really have to line up where you want it to go, and you have to figure out, and sometimes it can get bugged and glitched on walls, but once you throw it, you can do that and hold right trigger to drop immediately down. You are in a stun lock when you drop, so you are vulnerable. Do not try to go ahead and use the ring to go ahead and get it right next to your opponents. Her ultimate has been improved. You can basically throw it down, and within a certain perimeter, you can get whatever items you want from this thing. Now, you do have the option, you can only pick up 2 items, but the way they buffed it is you can take infinite ammo for you and your team. You basically scroll down, you pick out the items you want, and you go ahead and grab them, and it can really help getting looted up and stocked up in the beginning of the game. Now we have the modder Rampart, and a lot of people really don't like her skill set. She definitely takes a lot of getting used to, but if you can get good with her, a lot of players do have a lot of success with her. But I'm not going to recommend this be the first legend you unlock because it takes a lot of work to get good with her. Let's go ahead and see what a little bit of her abilities look like, and they kind of leave a little bit to be desired. So her passive, as you can see, I have a devotion right here. It actually allows more rounds for the devotion and the Spitfire, as she is a modder. So basically light machine guns, she can put more ammo in. Her other ability is she can put up 5 of these barriers. You can do 3 at once, or you can wait till you have them all and you can do 5. The downside is that when they're being built, they're very easily destroyed. Otherwise, they do take a lot more damage to destroy them. Now, the other plus side is you can shoot outside of them. If you see right here, I'll go ahead and hit that guy, that's 16 damage. But if you shoot from behind the wall barrier, it does more. The first one there was 17. Her other ability is you get this machine gun, which seems great, but it does make you a sitting duck. It does do an insane amount of damage, as you can see right here. You can absolutely shred into people, and you can do a ton of damage, and it's got a lot of ammo. So she can definitely be good, but you have to have a lot of practice and get used to her skill set, and be aware that you will be a sitting duck for portions of using her. So that's going to be my list of Apex Legends characters and how to use them for when the game launches on the Nintendo Switch, hopefully on February 2nd or 3rd as it's predicted. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe. I come out with Apex guides on the daily, along with news and other information going on within the community, and I try to keep you guys posted to the best of my abilities. Let me know in the comments below which character you plan on using when it launches on the game. I'm very curious to see who you thought was most exciting and which fits your playstyle the most. Until I see you guys out on the Nintendo Switch, keep slaying in the Outlands Legends, and I'll see you out there.